Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another first impressions video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix for the PlayStation 3. This title was sent to me by Ecoplay Portugal so that I could give it a look and tell you guys my opinions on it. So before we begin, I would just like to mention I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game before this. This is my very first experience with the franchise, and needless to say, I was extremely surprised because it was not what I was expecting at all. So for those of you that do not know a whole lot about Kingdom Hearts, I would very much appreciate it if you could stick with me, because I know that probably a lot of perception from people who've never had experience with the series is probably going to be, oh, this is probably aimed at the younger audiences and whatnot. It's a kid's game, so I don't have to bother with it all that much. And you could not be further from the truth, because that is what I thought as well. And I was very, very surprised. I'm going to be talking more about this, but before we get into the game itself, I would just like to go over what the specific package of Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix comes with, because it is not just one game, it is actually 3 games. Well, technically, let's say 2 games and a half. So you're going to get Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which is the original Kingdom Hearts, but remastered with upscale textures and better aspect ratio to fit today's current monitors and all that stuff. As well as they had a really big update on the audio. They remastered the soundtrack. I've seen somewhere that it was like 80% of the soundtrack was completely remastered, while still keeping the original feel, but, you know, to sound better than it did back in the day when they were limited with the hardware of the time when the game released, which this game released quite a while back in the PlayStation 2 originally, which is why I've never played it. I only began playing PlayStation 3 in 2010, so before that, all I played was PC. Anyways, you're also going to be getting Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix. So this is the PlayStation Portable version, obviously also remastered, 1080p, all that stuff. And then Kingdom Hearts Recoded, which is a version that came out for the DS. And however, the reason why I don't say it's 3 games is because this one is just the story of Kingdom Hearts Recoded. You don't actually play anything. You just see the videos and you see the story if you want to know what happened in this particular title. Now, an interesting thing about this is that I did some research and I came upon this post on Giant Bomb by a user by the name of Tepid Shark, who had made a posting where he ordered all of the Kingdom Hearts games by from best to worst. Now, this was just a user of the site. It's not really an actual reviewer or something like that. But to be completely honest, usually when you have people who are passionate about a video game, people who follow that video game incessantly, I come to find that they usually have a much better notion of what the game is like than reviewers, because reviewers kind of have to skip from game to game. And even though they might have franchises that they're particularly passionate about, users that are passionate about this one franchise will usually have a better insight into that franchise. And anyways, in that order, he listed Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep as the best Kingdom Hearts title ever, and Kingdom Hearts 2 as the second best title ever. So essentially, by getting this bundle, according to this user, you would be getting the 2 best Kingdom Hearts games in the franchise. He also listed Kingdom Hearts Recoded as the worst game in the franchise, which I thought was interesting. And essentially, maybe that's the reason why this is just the story and not necessarily the game. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, these are the 3 things that you're going to be getting with this bundle. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with Kingdom Hearts 2, where I will be able to show you guys what the game is like. And I realized I've been talking all this time and I haven't even said what the game's genre is. This is an action RPG that is going to feature characters from multiple Square Enix franchises, mostly Final Fantasy, like multiple Final Fantasy characters. You will see, like, I believe you get to see Cloud and what's his name, Squall, and it's just, I'm not sure if they all show up in here. Maybe they'll show up in Birth by Sleep, but I think you're going to be able to see a lot of like the main protagonists as well as side characters from Final Fantasy video games, as well as Disney characters like Donald Duck, Goofy, and Mickey. So let's get started. Okay, and here we are inside the actual game, and this is, like I said, this is the Kingdom Hearts 2. I will also be showing you guys some Birth by Sleep gameplay, but I am further on ahead in Kingdom Hearts 2 because I already have a party and everything, which I kind of feel is fairly important to show you guys some of the mechanics. So this is the main character, Sora, which is a character specifically for this game. So this is not, I don't think this character shows up in other Square Enix games unless it's like a cameo appearance or something like that. The main game of this character is Kingdom Hearts. Now, obviously you can see that we also have Goofy over here as well as Donald Duck, and they are members of our party. And so Donald Duck is a mage who does like lightning spells and heals the party, and Goofy is more of a tanky character. So you guys are like, what? Donald Duck's a mage and Goofy's a tank? Like, what the hell is up with that? But yeah, that is my party setup. Like I said, this is an action RPG, so battles are played out in real time. Something that you guys will notice a lot is that there are several loading screens because, I mean, obviously at the time of the PlayStation 2, they were limited by the hardware of the console. I mean, although maybe they could have done something to improve upon that, I'm sure that was going to take a lot of work from a coding standpoint, and they focused more on remastering the textures and all that stuff because, as you can see, the game actually looks pretty good, at least in my opinion. I wouldn't say, oh, that's clearly a PlayStation 2 game. I would never say that. Also, they changed the aspect ratio, which obviously for the PlayStation 2 was 4:3. They switched that to 16:9. The game is running at 1080p, 30 FPS, and it runs just fine. Now, as you're going about through the outside world, you can do multiple things, like you can talk with other characters, which will give you dialogue and sometimes insight about what's happening into the world. In terms of story, what I did tell you guys at the start of this video is that the story is somewhat, it's going to be different than what you expect from a game that's got Disney characters. I can tell you it is going to be very different from what you expect, but I do not want to get into too many details about the story. What I can tell you is that you do not start playing with this character. This character shows up later in the game. But I don't want to tell you the details of how that happened because I feel that would spoil a lot of the enjoyment of the start of the game. But yeah, let's just go into the next zone here because that is going to trigger a cinematic.
Hey you, where'd you come from? You here to pick a fight with us or something?
Fight? We're not here to fight.
Okay, smart Alex. Time to teach you how to behave in my town. Bring it.
Man, what a jerk.
One moment. If you're gonna fight, why not make it a proper struggle?
What?
You see, Cypher, I'm a really big fan.
What? What do you want?
In other words, I want to see more of your super cool moves. You handled the tournament with real style, and you absolutely dominated the title match. But I just can't get enough. Don't you see? The matches are far too short. And what's your name?
Sora.
Sora, if you want to fight a match, you just say the word.
So yeah, you're going to be seeing a lot of cinematics like that as you play through the game, because one of the things about this game is that I kind of feel it is more about the story than necessarily the gameplay, which doesn't mean that the gameplay isn't solid, because it most definitely is. As a matter of fact, when I started getting into the combat and whatnot, I was really surprised, for starters, with the animation quality, because the animation quality in combat and stuff I feel is really, really good. Also, one of the characters that we met back there, Cypher, I'm not entirely sure if what I'm about to tell you is correct, but the only Cypher I've ever heard of in a Square Enix game was Cypher from Final Fantasy VIII, which was actually the only Final Fantasy that I've really delved into. Like, I really played the crap out of Final Fantasy VIII, even though I've never finished it. It was definitely a game that I played quite a bit of. So when I heard the name Cypher, I was like, so this can't be it. Really? Cypher from Final Fantasy VIII? What the hell, man? I was just completely surprised. Anyways, you can navigate through the cities and stuff. You can even go into stores and buy stuff, I believe. I'm not sure if this store is open. Yeah, it is. So you can buy stuff, like you can buy ability rings, items that will change your stats and whatnot. You can also buy potions, but this is just for accessory shop. There's probably another shop over somewhere. This one's closed. But there's more shops throughout the world that allow you to buy other stuff. So we're going to go to Station Heights, which I believe is the next progression point of our... no, wait, I guess I was wrong. There's also a skateboard in here somewhere, but I can't seem to find it. Or maybe that was just for the other character. But you can also beat up stuff, like just the ball, though. I mean, you can't beat up other people just randomly. You just have to do regular combat. A lot of people are going to be wondering, what's the deal with that sword that looks like a key? Being really honest, I still don't know exactly what the point of that is. It's called a Keyblade, and it is something pretty important, since it kind of seems that there are these people in this universe who are worthy of the power of the Keyblade, and they're kind of like Jedi Masters in a way. But yeah, I'm going to go into the next section here. It's going to give us another cinematic, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so these are your typical enemies. Now, combat works by pressing X, just like spamming it almost, and triangle allows you to do these counter moves, and square currently allows me to block. Now, you'll notice that Donald Duck and Goofy are also attacking. I did mention that this was real time. There's going to be a lot of enemies showing up throughout this fight, and enemies will usually drop stuff for you that will give you money and other things like bonuses to your experience, bonuses to your health, that kind of stuff. They usually drop that, even though these aren't dropping it, because this is like a pretty big brawl just for the advancement of the storyline of the game. So let's just go ahead and beat the crap out of all these dudes. And as you level up, you'll obviously gain status increases and new combo moves and spells and abilities. I'll show you guys how to actually equip different commands and customize your party a little bit after this fight. Let's just get into it. Beat the crap out of all these dudes. Essentially right now I'm just kind of like spamming X, because these are pretty basic enemies. I mean, there's nothing particularly challenging over here. But boss fights, oh man, boss fights, very, very different. Oh man, getting slashed up in here. Killed! So you guys can probably tell the animations look, at least in my opinion, the animations look really good.
Your Majesty?
Shh. You gotta board the train and leave town. The train knows the way. Here.
Your Majesty!
The king? Was that really him?
It could have been. Yep, I know it was.
Now we know it's okay.
The king was locked in the realm of darkness, right?
Uh-huh.
But we just saw him.
Yep.
And if the king is here, that means Riku's here.
He's gotta be.
Well, I'm gonna go look for Riku. Then he and I can go back to the islands together. Kairi's there waiting for us. What are you two gonna do?
Gosh, Sora, do you have to ask?
Hey, what's so funny?
Your face. What do you say, guys? Let's stick together for one more journey. To where again?
We have to board the train.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Okay, so from that Mickey cinematic, you guys can tell where I got the whole idea that these Keyblade Masters are kind of like Jedi Masters in this universe, which I kind of find pretty cool. So Mickey pretty much kicked ass, and Mickey is apparently the king. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about the story. I just know the story that I've experienced so far, and I thought that was pretty interesting up until this point at least. So yes, I would recommend, if you like the visuals, if you like the gameplay that I've shown so far, yes, I do think that Kingdom Hearts 2 is worth it. Now, I did say I was going to show you guys a little bit more of the RPG side of things. So as you can see, you have your party here, which is currently Sora, Donald, and Goofy. Sora is level 7, Donald level 8, Goofy level 8 as well. And you can customize their different abilities. Now, these are actually, some of these are passive abilities, like the scan, which shows your current target hit points. Seems that we can't do combo boost because we have aerial recovery and scan. So if we remove one of these, we'll be able to get combo boost. I might just remove guard because I don't use guard all that much. I tend to dodge more, although it doesn't seem like one ability is enough. So I guess I'll remove scan too. Although scan is really useful for bosses because a lot of times you'll be fighting a boss, and unless you have this particular ability equipped, you will not know how many hit points he has left. So bear that in mind. So let's go ahead and equip Combo Boost, and that will increases the damage of my finishing move on the ground relative to the number of hits in the combo. So these are different abilities that you get as you play through the game. You're going to get more abilities. Obviously, Donald's got his own abilities. He's got the Donald Thunder, which is a bombardment of lightning bolts on your target, and the Donald Cure, which heals party members' hit points. Then we also have Goofy, who has Goofy Bash and Item Boost. An effective range attack, throwing a shield at the enemy from afar, Captain America style, I guess. And Item Boost increases the effect done with healing items on the field by 50%. So there you go. Then we also have other things that we can customize, like we can change our shortcuts for using items. For instance, if we press L1 and circle, it will now use this a high potion. If we press L1 and X, it will use a regular potion. Now, on these guys, I don't think you can actually change their potions and stuff, but you can change how you want them to do. So party members fight with their individual techniques. Party members concentrate attacks on Sora's target. Party members fight close to Sora. Party members will fight a target other than Sora's. While Sora attacks, party members will support him. Relentless attack. So you got a couple of AI sections, a couple of AI definitions that you can give to your party. You can also change his abilities to be free to just use abilities whenever he wants, well balanced or rare. So there you go, so that you can balance out his mana usage. So for instance, let's say you want him to focus more on cure, you'd put Donald Thunder and maybe well balanced, or maybe even rare if you want him to just be, you know, full healer mode. And you can do the same thing for the Goofy skills, I'm assuming. And you can also tell him that he can auto use potions, I guess. There you go. And again, change his battle style around. So yeah, you can manage your party to definitely to a certain degree, which I find is really cool. And maybe it is something that you wouldn't expect from a game like Kingdom Hearts, like I said, because there's this, at least to me personally, it seems like there's this notion around this game that it is more aimed at a younger audience, but it has got all the makings of a really good RPG, which again was super surprising to me. There's also something that tells you the items that you are using. This is more in terms of equipment. So we are using the champion belt as well as an ability ring, which we don't have anything else to use apart from that. We can use an elven bandana here, but like you guys know, I don't trust elves, so you shouldn't trust elves either. So just stick to the champion belt. And then you have Kingdom Key, which I believe we can't change, at least for now. Donald Duck has his own set of thing. I guess we can give Donald the elven bandana, but we might give it to Goofy since Goofy is more in the field, so to say, so we'll give him the elven bandana. We don't have any more accessories. We could have bought a ring at the store if you guys remember, so there's that. And there's a bunch of stuff that we have in stock, which just shows you all of your inventory. There's also a journal that tells you your current objectives, but I'm not going to go too deep into that. But yeah, this is Kingdom Hearts 2. Like I said, I'm not going to show you guys a lot about the story because that is one of the best things about this title so far, to me at least, and it is like, I think it would be really spoiler heavy if I was to show you the story of the game. So I'm going to be changing now to Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep just to show you a little bit of that other game so that you guys can get an idea of how that one plays out. Okay, and now we're in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Now, the interesting thing about this title is that I believe that chronologically, this actually takes place before Kingdom Hearts 2. So this is like a prequel, almost, so to speak. Or, not almost, but it is a prequel. And the three characters that you see on screen, apart from Mickey, obviously you can see that Mickey Mouse is over there. But the other three characters that you see on screen are Aqua, from the left to the right, Aqua, Ventus, and Terra. And the interesting thing about this game is that you will play the game from the perspective of each of these three characters. Now, the gameplay that I'm going to be showing you is we're going to be playing with Aqua, and I will tell you more about it as we go through the game. But essentially, I just want you guys to understand this game is like you have to play through 3 stories to understand the game fully, and you will experience the events that have taken place in parallel throughout the story of each of the characters, if that makes any sense. Essentially, the story begins at the same time and ends at the same time for the 3 characters, and going through these 3 characters, you will witness the 3 perspectives of them and their thoughts on each of the things. I don't know why it says Ventus here, because I'm not playing Ventus. Okay, so for whatever reason, it seems that I forgot to save the game when I was playing as Aqua, which is obviously a pretty bad mistake. So we're going to just go ahead and select Aqua, and we'll just start from the beginning, and you guys get to see the early cinematics of this title, which will give you an idea of what the title's story is all about.
Today you will be examined for the Mark of Mastery. Not one, but 2 of the Keyblades chosen stand here as candidates. But this is neither a competition nor a battle for supremacy. Not a test of wills, but a test of heart. Both of you may prevail, or neither. But I am sure our guest, Master Xehanort, did not travel all this way to see our youngest prospects in years fall short of the mark. I trust you are ready.
Yes.
Then let the examination begin.
Don't worry about me. You 2 focus on the exam.
But Ven, you're in danger here. Go wait in your room.
No way. I've been looking forward to this. Seeing you 2 become masters. I'm not gonna miss it now.
He could take care of himself. He's been out there training just as hard as us.
Yeah.
Stay sharp, Ven.
So the combat in this game, it is very similar to Kingdom Hearts 2. They changed a couple of the key bindings, so now if you press square, you will actually dodge sideways. You can also lock on, which I haven't mentioned previously, but you can freely lock on to targets. One of the things that you will notice is that I'm struggling with the camera a little bit, because for whatever reason, this game has the camera reversed from the ways that we do camera work today. So, so essentially when you hit left, it turns right. So I don't know what the hell is the deal with that, but I guess that's the way they used to do it back in the day for whatever reason, and they kind of stayed true to the original controls for their own for nostalgia's sake, I guess. But it's just terrible. Like, the first thing I do whenever they open up the option is to go ahead and change the camera settings. Can I even do it now? No. They really limit your options at the start of the game so that players aren't overwhelmed, I guess. But yeah, The camera work early on is very, very annoying because you have to constantly do it opposite of what you're used to doing for third-person games.
Now, Terra and Aqua, the two of you will face each other in combat. Remember, there are no winners, only truths. For when equal powers clash, their nature is revealed. Begin! We have deliberated and reached a decision. Terra, Aqua, you both performed commendably. However, only Aqua has shown the mark of mastery. Terra, you failed to keep the darkness within you sufficiently in check. But there is always next time. That is all.
The darkness. Where did it come from?
What do you make of Ventus?
He ain't gonna cut it. Somebody's gotta break that loser in.
Not here, you won't. I have to keep up appearances.
I know that. He just needs a little incentive to leave home.
What is that?
What happened?
I don't know.
That was my dear old friend Yen Sid. As you know, he is master no more, but he still keeps a close eye on the tides of light and darkness. For he tells me the princesses of heart are in danger. Not only from the forces of darkness, as you may assume, but also from a new threat. One that feeds on negativity. Fledgling emotions that have taken monster form. Yen Sid calls them the Unversed. As wielders of the Keyblade, you are tasked with striking down any who would upset the balance of light and darkness.
I swear, I will not fail you again.
Oh. Master, I best be on my way.
No, he mustn't. You have to bring him back.
Don't worry, Master.
Okay, so I heavily edited that last cinematic, so I didn't show you everything that took place simply because it would be like more than half the video, almost. But you guys can probably tell from that cinematic why I kind of feel that there's a lot of parallels between Keyblade Masters and Jedi Masters from Star Wars, and even parallels from the Star Wars story, I feel. But maybe that's just me because I'm really big fan of Star Wars. But yeah, so now in this particular title, in Birth by Sleep, once you exit your starter world, you get to go to all these different worlds. I mean, for starters, you can only go to this one, which is Castle of Dreams. Now, this is the world where Cinderella takes place, but there's a bunch of more here, as you guys can see, and there's probably even some more that aren't even being shown yet. So we're going to go to Cinderella's castle over here.
Mademoiselle! Senorita! Wait!
And here we are at Cinderella's castle, and here I think they finally let us... Oh, thank God, thank you. I just need to go to the here and just switch. Where is it? Camera left, right, flipped. There we go. Oh man, it's just so uncomfortable to do it any other way. But as you guys can see, we still have the same, like, commands type thing to the side. It's very similar in terms of combat. You can see that you press X, you attack, and you can also do these spells with triangle, which means that essentially you use square to dodge as opposed to just blocking. But you can also use it to block. You can see me block there. It's also a temporary block, so you can't do it for too long. And you can just walk around through the kingdom of Cinderella. Let's go ahead and open up a couple of these chests. We've got, what's Barrier Surge? Is that like a new ability? Looks like we've unlocked something too. Okay, we got Scan here. Let's turn that on. Thank you very much. Well, we didn't get Barrier... I think Barrier Surge might be for another character, actually. Terra said to speak to the prince in the ballroom, so we have to go speak to the prince in Cinderella's castle.
Who are those ladies?
Oh, if I recall correctly, that is Lady Tremaine, and those are her daughters.
There was something very wrong about them.
You came back.
Huh?
Oh, my apologies. I was mistaken.
Your Highness, I found this on the palace stairs.
A glass slipper.
One dropped by a lovely young lady, and I'll search far and wide to find the maiden to whom this belongs.
You will?
Of course, Your Highness. After all, you finally found someone whom you wish to marry. Upon hearing that happy news, your father, the king, has decreed that a quest shall begin immediately throughout the kingdom, and I will start with the closest residence, that of Lady Tremaine.
Lady Tremaine. I'd better pay her a visit.
So as you can see, we just had a look at a very, at least what I consider to be a very important point in the Cinderella storyline, the point where it's like, oh, we found the glass slipper of Cinderella, you know? So that is the kind of things that I feel that you will be experiencing throughout Kingdom's Hearts. I mean, you're going to be seeing stuff from Final Fantasy and Disney all combined into one package, as well as other Square Enix titles. It is not just Final Fantasy, although I don't know all of the titles that show up, because as you guys know, I'm just still doing a first impressions video. But as you guys can see, the combat system has definitely been overhauled. We now have a cooldown system instead of the typical just spells with mana and whatnot. So I actually wanted to try Barrier Surge. That's something that I'm curious about, which is the spell that we picked up earlier. I just equipped it. So we're going to find a couple of enemies. Let's see what this is about. Ah, interesting. It's a melee attack. Our character is more of a caster type thing, as far as I can tell. You can also D-Link. Now, D-Link means that you get abilities from other characters. So, for instance, if I was to D-Link with Ventus, who is the little kid, that is going to fill up my health pool bar, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Yeah, it fills us up with it fills up our health pool, as well as gives us the abilities that we have equipped on Ventus. So we have Quick Blitz over here. We also have Arrow, and we have Strike Raid. Where's Strike Raid? There we go. Strike Raid is more like a range attack, which is pretty cool. And as long as we continue to channel the D-Link, you'll notice that little blue gauge on top of our portrait on the bottom right will continue to decay and will also tell us on the bottom left what character we are playing as. However, we can also pick up stuff that allows us to maintain the D-Link, and we can also revert back to our original link whenever we want. So that D-Link gauge essentially allows us to channel abilities from anyone in our party, but you will also have a party, like a typical party like you guys seen in Kingdom Hearts 2 previously. It's just I haven't played that far ahead yet. Now, I really like both titles, if I'm being completely honest. I've played more of Kingdom Hearts 2, but I tend to really prefer Birth by Sleep. You guys can tell it's also 1080p. I mean, I don't think you can even tell that this is a PSP game. At least that's my personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I think the game looks pretty good. Animates really, really good. And it is just something that really surprised me in terms of what I was expecting Kingdom Hearts to be and what it actually was. It was just very, very different. And it is a much more interesting title than I gave it credit for. So hopefully my video will get you to at least, research more information on Kingdom Hearts and not just be like me, who has been ignorant of this franchise for the longest time for all the completely wrong reasons. Oh man. But yep, having a lot of fun with Kingdom Hearts. I just unfortunately don't have as much time as I would like to dedicate to this title, but I think it is a very solid title, and if you like what you've seen so far in the video, I would definitely recommend it. In terms of the storyline, I feel like I need to explain a little bit more about the universe of Kingdom Hearts, because probably a lot of you guys are saying, so how does this work? Like, are you playing the story of Cinderella right now? Are you playing the story of these Final Fantasy characters that show up right now? What's going on? And essentially the deal is Kingdom Hearts is its own universe, and unlike the Final Fantasy series, where for instance Final Fantasy VII has almost nothing to do with Final Fantasy VIII from a lore perspective, Kingdom Hearts is actually completely connected. Even though you see these completely different characters in a different point in the timeline, Kingdom Hearts is actually like one single storyline. However, it is fairly complex. A lot of the fans don't even know the entirety of how the story actually works, because yeah, it's a pretty complex storyline, and however, I do feel it is worth it. If you like the series, I definitely feel it's worth it, and it is a lot of fun. The combat is solid, the animations are just awesome in my opinion, particularly again for the times of these games. These games have all launched like a long time ago, so I even have a hard time like understanding how the animations just look so good. I don't know. But anyways, that is going to be it for Kingdom Hearts. Like I told you, Recoded is essentially just storyline telling with the same graphics engine that you guys see here. So there's not a whole lot really to show there in terms of gameplay, which is what I like to focus on for these titles. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. You guys let me know what you think about it. Thank you very much for watching. Give me all the comments and feedback in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next one.